let's see. ChatGPT is about to become the first, and I mean the first $1 trillion company in IPO history. And there is a $30 billion company that nobody's talking about right now that could triple by the time ChatGPT goes public. Now, for all the people out there, yes, I know the name of the company is not ChatGPT, it's actually OpenAI. But nonetheless, for the sake of simplicity here, we all know what ChatGPT is. OpenAI is the company that creates ChatGPT. But for the sake of this episode, we are solely going to refer to it as ChatGPT. Sam Altman's AI empire just hit a huge milestone of being valued at $500 billion, making it worth more than Walmart, JP Morgan, ExxonMobil. It's an insanely large company. We all know what ChatGPT is. A few years ago, it hit the market and threw everything by storm. And now that company is essentially gearing up to go public. And I think, and this is just my personal opinion here, I think that most people are waiting on ChatGPT to go public while not acknowledging that there are companies right now that are going to do way better as ChatGPT gets closer to this IPO. And the reason is quite simple. In order for ChatGPT to operate, they need a lot of different companies. In today's episode, I am actually going to share one of those companies that I think is going to 3, 5, and possibly even 10x by the time ChatGPT goes public. To some analysts, people are looking at this IPO as the next NVIDIA, essentially a once-in-a-generation company that is going to generate a lot of wealth for a lot of people. To others, this is just the beginning of the AI world eating everything else. But I, at the end of the day, think everybody is missing out on something that is incredibly important about this company, is that ChatGPT, OpenAI are essentially powering the entire AI revolution right now. And I think there's companies that we all need to understand and know about. But before jumping into it, I do want to share that there are a few ways that you can get involved here. I want to go over this because I know that there's always going to be new people in the chat. A lot of people may not know who I am. So with that said, there are 3 ways to get involved here. It's quite simple. Number 1, you can download the app. It is called Benson AI. If you're on TikTok, you see that right above me. Benson AI is our investment app that does all of the investing for you by using AI. The buying, the research, the selling, the reinvesting, all of it. It does it all for you. That is going to be the easiest way to get involved. It is also going to be, have the best upside for you. The second way to get involved is actually for you to just go ahead and subscribe to the newsletter. That is going to be if you are on an Android or if you are not in the United States. By subscribing to the newsletter, you are going to get access to our top 10 stocks. At the same time that we send it out to everybody on Benson, you are also going to get those same stocks in your email. Now, of course, you'll have to go out and buy those stocks on your own, but nonetheless, they will be shared with you at the same point in time that we share them with people on Benson. Meaning you're not going to be finding out about these stocks 6 months, 12 months later, because I know some of you guys have found out about these stocks way later. And then the last and easiest way to get involved, pretty much, no real effort on your end, is actually to go directly to our website. And on our website, we actually share a few stock ideas. The website is called meetbenson.com. Again, that is meetbenson.com. And there, 1, you'll be able to subscribe to the newsletter if you don't have an iPhone or you are not in the United States. But 2, if you want to, you can also just get a few free ideas. These are ideas that we shared months ago that we still think have some upside. So with that said, those are the 3 ways to get involved. Now, back into it. What's good, everybody? My name is Phillip Aubrey. This is the Benson Report. This is a big deal for me, y'all. This is episode number 8. That means for me, it is 8 episodes of being consistent. At the end of the day, y'all know, for the people that know me, y'all know that if I could tattoo one word on my forehead, it would be discipline, maybe consistency. Both go hand in hand. But this is episode number 8. If you have not caught all the other episodes, one, we started recording them on YouTube so that you can always go back and watch them. But this is episode number 8. In addition to that, for those people that are new here, this is where we essentially go over what's happening in the market, how this impacts all of us, and then more importantly, how we at Benson are taking advantage of these opportunities so that we can profit off of what's happening now. I cannot underscore that enough. Regardless of whether or not the market is up or down, there is always an opportunity for you to profit. And over on our end of the table, we use AI to do all of that research for us and the execution, the buying, the selling, the monitor, the reinvesting, all of it. So it's a good time for the people who are intentional about saying, hey, I want to get serious about my investing game. I don't want to be stressed out about it. And more importantly, I want to think about this from an angle that is going to help me out over the long term. I think everybody wants $1 million tomorrow. But when you find out how to get $1 million tomorrow, you let me know. But until then, we have to be smart about our money and making sure that we are taking steps now that are going to get us closer to that end goal. And today's episode, of course, is called The Secret ChatGPT Stock. And over the next, y'all know I'm never good with my timing here. I'm going to still say it, but over the next 30, maybe 45 minutes, we're going to be unpacking 3 major things. Number 1, the story of how Sam Altman and Elon Musk, surprisingly, what most people may not know, fought over OpenAI and why this breakup actually matters for their IPO. 2, the backdoor deals and restructuring that just made this $1 trillion valuation possible. And 3, there's a lot of companies, but one company that nobody is really talking about right now that we think has the potential to be one of the largest winners from ChatGPT going public. Right now, there is a lot of movement happening in the market. For us that are long-term investors, we're not really concerned about these daily dips or highs. It feels good, it feels bad. We aren't really concerned. We're thinking about what happens over these next few months or even years as AI continues to take over the world. And the real question is, what company is OpenAI desperately dependent on that you can buy right now? I cannot underscore that again. Yes, you cannot technically buy ChatGPT right now. It is not a publicly traded company, but ChatGPT is gearing up for a massive IPO. And in order to get to that IPO, there are going to be some companies that we can buy today that are going to allow ChatGPT to continue doing what they do best. And over the next 30, maybe 45 minutes, I'm going to break that down for you. So I always like to rewind and provide some context here. I think it is always important to provide some context. What the heck is ChatGPT? How did it become such a big deal? Well, to understand ChatGPT today, you have to know a little bit about the past. ChatGPT is started by a man named Sam Altman, who dropped out of Stanford University at 19 years old to start a company called Looped. Fun fact, Sam Altman his app, Looped, was one of the first company to be listed on the iPhone App Store. It's a big deal when you recognize that this guy single-handedly has been shaping technology since he was 19 years old. I know for a lot of people, ChatGPT was the first time they ever heard about this guy named Sam Altman, if they've ever heard about Sam Altman. Nonetheless, this guy drops out of Stanford at 19 years old, starts a company called Looped, becomes one of the first companies to list their app on the iPhone App Store. Later, he sold that company to a company called Green Dot. A few years later, at the age of 28, this guy, Sam Altman, takes over a startup incubator called Y Combinator. Y Combinator is the equivalent of Harvard, but for all startups. The best startup or the best tech companies in the world that we can think about, a lot of them went through a small incubator called Y Combinator. shameless plug, I'm a YC company as well. Benson went through Y Combinator. Well, Sam Altman was the second president of Y Combinator in 2014 at the age of 28. It's insane to think about what this guy has done in such a small amount of time. This guy has essentially, I'm blocking that person. This guy has essentially, not single-handedly, but has had his fingerprints on some of the most valuable tech companies in the world. And it started at the age of 19. By the age of 28, he essentially took over the largest and most well-known startup incubator called Y Combinator. And later, he decided to leave Y Combinator. He had a great job. He was the president of YC, and he decided to leave. And he decided to leave in 2015 to actually go and start OpenAI with a man that, you know, some people hate and love, rightfully so, named Elon Musk. I think it's always interesting when we have to be honest and acknowledge just how much Elon Musk has done in terms of this tech space. And now for a lot of people here, this is probably some people's first time even knowing about the fact that Elon Musk actually helped create OpenAI back in 2015 with his own money. And like we can say like, yeah, he's created Tesla. Great. We know what Tesla is, but people don't know that he is also, you know, the guy who created PayPal. He's also the guy that owns and created SpaceX, aka sending rockets out into space and catching them before they hit the ground. He's also the guy that created, you know, Neuralink, which is a chip that can be implanted in people's heads in order to help them operate computers, assuming that they are paralyzed. So when we think about this, like this man has done a lot. But in addition to that, some people may not know that until now, he is also one of the first people to actually help create and found ChatGPT /OpenAI. This goes back all the way to 2015. Musk was one of the first and the earliest donors, and I'm using that word specifically, donors, not investors, to a company called ChatGPT /OpenAI. At that point in time, he gave, if I remember correctly, he gave ChatGPT $45 million of his own private money because he was just like, hey, I love what you guys are doing. At that point in time, they were experimenting and they were like, hey, we want to bring AI to the real world and we want to do it to where it is completely free for people to use. This is back in 2015. So again, we didn't hear about ChatGPT until about 2022. These guys have been working on this back all the way in 2015 with the help and support and heavy-handed influence of Elon Musk. Again, at that point in time, Elon Musk gave about $45 million. Some people say it's around $100 million that he actually gave. Either way, it's small pennies for a man like Elon Musk. We got to keep in mind, Elon Musk is one of the, well, he is, I think, as of today, still the single largest, wealthiest human on Earth. So at that time, he gave $45 million, maybe $100 million, depending on who you ask. And at that point in time, he and Sam Altman started to get into it after a while. And they started to get into it because Sam Altman started to do something that Elon Musk didn't like. And at the same time, Elon Musk started to do something that Sam Altman didn't like. Elon Musk wanted to actually say, hey, I can get this company larger. I can scale this faster than you. I've built multiple billion-dollar companies over and over and over again. Sam Altman was just like, nah, bruh, it ain't going down like that. You ain't about to take over my company. I know you took over Tesla, but that's not what's about to happen here. By the way, Elon Musk is well known for taking over companies and rightfully so, scaling them. He's actually not the creator of Tesla. He bought Tesla, took it over. He's also not the creator of X. He bought Twitter and took it over and X, Y, and Z. So he has a good track record of actually saying, hey, I can do better than you at scaling these businesses. However, Sam Altman was still one of the youngest, or not was, he denotably was the youngest person to ever lead Y Combinator, was the first person to get an app on the App Store, one of the first people to get an app on the App Store. So this guy is like, yeah, bro, but I'm that guy as well. And in order for me to do what I want to do, I have to run this company. So they got into it. Elon Musk left. ChatGPT launched a few years later. If I remember correctly, ChatGPT launched and hit the market November 30th, 2022. So we are almost exactly to the T 3 years later that ChatGPT has hit the market. And they did phenomenal, as we all know it. We have not, since November 30th, 2022, we have not at all been able to escape the grasp that ChatGPT / AI has on our country right now. And not even our country, that's thinking too small. AI has fundamentally changed the entire world. And it all started in November 30th of 2022 when ChatGPT hit the market. And from a few episodes ago, you may know this already, but it became the fastest app in the world to hit 100 million users. And they did that in only 2 months. Imagine what this guy, Elon Musk, felt like when he realized the company that he gave $45 million to, maybe 100 million, who knows, billionaire problems that I simply don't have. But imagine how he felt when, he realizes that, man, the company I walked away from now just broke a record. They broke a record and did something that nobody thought was possible. They put AI in the hands of regular people. Let's be clear. AI has been around since the 60s, at least. We had computers that were doing stuff. Now, granted, it wasn't great, but nonetheless, we did have artificial intelligence that was being documented and worked on and created all the way going back to the 60s. Sam Altman says, hey, I know how to get it larger. I know how to get it in the hands of regular people. And keep in mind, the reason why Sam Altman's history is so important is because when he was the president at Y Combinator, his main goal was to help small startups become the next billion-dollar company. Fun fact, Airbnb came from Y Combinator, a company that we all know of. And more importantly, they worked directly under Sam Altman. So Sam Altman has a history of saying, hey, I've given advice to thousands of companies that have scaled and turned into billion-dollar companies. Airbnb just happens to be one of them. Coinbase is another one of them. And as a result, Sam Altman is like, hey, I know what I'm doing here. Nonetheless, he shows the world exactly. He knows what he's doing. And on November 30th, 2022, ChatGPT hits the market. And within 2 months, they break a record and become the fastest app in human history to hit 100 million users. Now, all of us tech nerds may remember this, but unless you are a tech nerd like me, some of this stuff may be a bit fuzzy. But shortly after that, aka a year after ChatGPT hits the market, Sam Altman actually got fired. I'll say that again. This guy starts the company back in 2014 after leaving one of the world's most important tech roles, starts ChatGPT, gets investments from Elon Musk, Microsoft, blows up to be, again, the fastest company in human history to hit 100 million users, and then he is ultimately fired. That is wild to think about, man, to spend 7-8 years building a dream that no one else believes in, and then after you finally hit that success, you are fired. Absolutely insane. But there is more to the story that I don't think that people actually acknowledge or understand around what happened around that time. We're going deep. So stay with me here, y'all. Elon Musk, I think, also accidentally created his biggest competitor. Back in 2015, Elon Musk was terrified of one simple thing. That one simple thing was actually Google. He was afraid that Google was going to be the company that controls AI. And a lot of people know this, but Google has been a part of this AI game since the early 2010. Google did have a company under their branch where they made it very clear that they believed that they had AI that was already thinking independently. And Google does not have a good track record of using those sorts of technology. As a result, Elon Musk was terrified of that. And he essentially said that, hey, if Google beats us to the market, the world is over. So what he did is he turned around and he said, hey, I'm going to make sure that you / Sam Altman slash OpenAI slash ChatGPT are the first person to get out there. And we have to acknowledge that Elon Musk is not a small fish at this time. 2015, Tesla is still, at that time, going through one of the biggest changes that we have ever seen, becoming one of the world's most valuable car companies. So when Elon Musk steps up and says, hey, I want to help you grow, that's not a small deal. That's not a small deal. Again, he put in about $45 million around that time. And on top of all of that, Elon Musk opened doors for ChatGPT. They were one of the companies, Elon Musk single-handedly made the introduction to Microsoft, which turned around and invested a few $1 billion. Up to date, I'll jump into it a bit later, but up to date, Microsoft has single-handedly been the largest investor in ChatGPT. Now, of course, Microsoft is like, hey, we cannot allow Google to beat us to the punch. So, absolutely. And with all that said, Elon Musk was the person to say, hey, Google is the competition. Let's go to one of Google's competitors. Let's get funding and strike up a partnership with one of those people. However, by 2018, Elon Musk wanted to take over. Sam Altman, ChatGPT said, absolutely not. And when the board supported Sam Altman, essentially, Elon Musk rage quit. He was like, well, forget all of y'all, I'm leaving. And he went out to start another company called XAI. XAI today is not nearly as big as ChatGPT, but amongst all of us like tech nerds, they've done a fine job. Now, fast forward to today, OpenAI is worth $500 billion, aka ChatGPT is worth one Elon Musk. Now, it's wild to think about Elon Musk is worth $500 billion, but that is also pretty much the same valuation as ChatGPT. And Elon Musk is actually trying to catch up. To be fair, he's made some great strides. His AI company, again, is a competitor to ChatGPT. They have another product called Grok. Grok has done a fantastic job of, getting out there, finding some initial users, but it does not come close to the amount of eyeballs that ChatGPT has. ChatGPT was the first company in the AI space to hit the market. We all know it. We associate AI with ChatGPT. We don't even think about them separately now. The irony here, I think, is also just laughable. Elon Musk funded his own competition. And now Sam Altman controls what might be the most valuable company ever created. I think it's funny. It's like billionaire problems. I wish I could have these sorts of problems where I invest in a company, I help it grow, and they turn out to be worth a few $100 billion. And I'm upset that they've grown faster than me. Nonetheless, these are billionaire problems, but I do think it's important for us to understand the history of how we got here today so that we can understand what is the next phase of where things are going. There's also more to the drama around just how, I guess, messy this whole breakup with Elon Musk and ChatGPT actually was. Some people think that this issue that Elon Musk has with ChatGPT is actually a huge risk. They believe that Elon Musk has the potential to stop ChatGPT from actually going public. Other people see this as validation. Elon Musk has a lot of power in this country. If Elon Musk is mad about not having control over OpenAI, it must be a lot more valuable than what we think. I'll say that again. A lot of people do not want Elon Musk to have more control over technology. Rightfully so. He does run some of the largest tech companies in the world. Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink. Of course, he has direct connections and influence over the president right now. Some people are like, yeah, bro, if Elon Musk is this angry, OpenAI must be a lot more valuable. Elon Musk since then has sued ChatGPT multiple times. But to be fair, I personally think that Elon Musk, and y'all know this, I do enjoy Elon Musk's smarts. I don't like him as an individual, but I do think the guy is brilliant. He's a smart guy. We could never rob him of that. But I do think that Elon Musk leaving was one of the best things to ever happen to OpenAI. Here's why. One, they raised essentially $1 billion from Microsoft right after Elon Musk left. And as a result of that, they could focus on building products instead of arguing about control. Elon Musk has a big ego. He was just like, hey, you ain't going to do this unless I'm running it. And Sam Altman is arguably the first person to ever be able to stand up to Elon Musk and say, shut up and get out my face. Not too many people can do that. Not too many people can do that. And we got to keep in mind that at that point in time, Sam Altman did not have the big company behind him. But he pretty much said, no, screw off. You don't have control over here. This ain't how this is about to go. Again, we don't have many track records of people being able to stand up to Elon Musk and say no. Sam Altman happens to be one of the first guys to do it and did it very, very well. And in fact, turned that same company into one of the largest, most valuable companies on earth. And that was because he said, hey, get out of here. We don't need to have like a ego competition. Our goal is to build products. We are not here to argue about who runs the show, because I run the show. That's exactly what Sam Altman said. I run the show, not you. Let's focus on products. We don't care about anything else. As a result, 4 years later, they ship OpenAI, ChatGPT out to the world. And then on top of that, they were able to recruit some of the most influential AI researchers in the world to come and work for them. Fun fact about Sam Altman actually getting fired is that he was fired from his own company. And within 48 hours of being fired, 95% of all of his employees signed a letter, said, hey, if he doesn't come back, we're quitting. I'll say that again. We have never seen something like this before. Imagine, I guess, just for simplicity's sake, let's imagine what that looks like today. Let's imagine everybody hates this man that creates the iPhone named Steve Jobs, but they love him at the same time. Steve Jobs gets fired because he did actually get fired from Apple. Fun fact, Steve Jobs did get fired from Apple. And when Steve Jobs got fired, 95% of all of his employees said, yo, if you don't bring Steve Jobs back, I'm out of here. We just created the world's most important technology, and I will follow that guy to wherever he goes. When you talk about a person loving what they do for work, loving what the product that they're building, loving the person leading them, that is an insane amount of loyalty. 95% of the people that Sam Altman hired said, if you don't bring Sam back, I quit. Another crazy part about this whole thing of Sam Altman getting fired from ChatGPT is that Microsoft came in and said, hey, we will hire the entire team. Bring everyone over here. You will have my unlimited resources, my unlimited protection, my unlimited funding. I will hire every single person, Sam. Just come over here and work with me. Within 24 hours, Sam Altman had a new job from Microsoft and said, hey, bring everybody you want. We will hire them. We'll pay them well. You guys get equity. Let's just build this together. Now, of course, when Sam Altman got fired, the board is just like, oh, crap, we did not recognize that 95% of his employees were also going to walk out. Nonetheless, as we can tell, Sam Altman got hired back again. And that is one of what I say, one of the most pivotal moments in ChatGPT's history. And it's because the employees that were building the technology that has and will continue to shape the world said, we are not doing this without you. You got us here and we're going to get to the finish line together. That was that bonding moment for everybody to be like, look, we know what we're here for. We're focused on the bigger picture. We don't care about this drama that you're having with the board. You have helped us get here and we're going to go to the finish line together. That really cemented Sam Altman to be one of the most influential CEOs to ever hit the market. And to be fair, we are still at the start. Sam Altman is building an empire right now. And I say this all the time. I don't think regular people understand just how much AI is about to change everything. And we are just at the start. We are just at the start. Sam Altman has more control than Mark Zuckerberg has over Meta. He has more control than Steve Jobs had over Apple. And all this guy cares about for the last, at this point, decade, is saying, I want to bring AI to the world and I want to make sure that it is one of the most important technologies to hit the market. And so far, the guy has been relentless at it. And we are just at the start. It has only been 3 years. Think about that. It has only been 3 years since ChatGPT hit us. Now, drama creates opportunity. This is a little side tangent here, but I cannot underscore this enough. Drama creates opportunity, y'all. People that are on Benson, we all understand this already, but I do think it's helpful to reiterate this for other people who may be new here. Drama creates opportunity. Back in April, we saw drama. We saw drama where, Elon Musk and Donald Trump were doing this crazy thing around tariffs. The stock market tanked. We saw that as an opportunity. We went to go scoop it all up. Drama creates opportunity. If you understand that, you can start to get a better idea of how this company, OpenAI, has been set up to be one of the world's most valuable companies when it hits the market. Every time there is chaos at OpenAI, the market panics, AI stocks dip. We're seeing that right now. AI stocks will dip as soon as there's some sort of panic at OpenAI, which is a private company. It is already impacting the entire world. But OpenAI / ChatGPT continues to hit insane milestones. When OpenAI IPOs, every headline is going to be crazy. Right now, as it stands, we are looking at OpenAI IPOing somewhere in 2026. They're saying Q3 of 2026. We'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, we still have already identified companies, multiple companies, by the way, at least a dozen companies that are going to allow ChatGPT to hit the market. And by allowing ChatGPT to hit the market, those stocks are also going to rise up. We have analyzed, I think specifically, we've analyzed about 200 stocks that we think are directly connected to the ChatGPT IPO. And what we started to do is start planting those seeds now. Because in a year, some of these companies, that one of them I will actually share here, but some of these companies we think are going to 10x by the time ChatGPT goes public. And it's all because ChatGPT is, and this is something that I think I feel very firm about. ChatGPT is the most important technology since the internet. And it is going to make 10 times more progress than the internet ever made. So I'll say that again. ChatGPT is the most important technology since the internet, and it is going to be 10 times bigger than the internet. Every single company that you can think of right now is going to look incredibly different in 10 years because of ChatGPT. And the people who understand that now are getting ready for that future. That is called being an investor. We are planting our seeds, buying up those companies now that are going to change the world over the next 5-10 years. ChatGPT is going to be public in about a year from now. And within this next year, there are some companies that are going to 10x because of this technology coming to the public markets. We are about to see one of the largest creations of millionaires that the world has ever seen because of AI. And it is going to be faster and more disruptive than we can imagine. Now, with that said, that simply means everyone needs to be thinking about how does the world look when ChatGPT goes public? How do we start jumping in now to prepare for that moment? Because when it comes, it is going to be faster than anybody is able to anticipate. 3 years ago, this company was making no money, quite literally $0 worth of revenue. Today, they are doing somewhere, as the last report I read, somewhere around $50 to $100 billion worth of revenue. 3 years ago, $0. Now, a few $1 billion in revenue. And it is only accelerating. They are signing major deals. They are continuing to bring more people into the fold. And on top of that, it is all happening pretty much without any debt. I know that there's a lot of conversations around, oh, there's a bubble. Sure, you bet your money on a bubble. I'll bet my money on not being a bubble. And in 10 years, even if there is a bubble, the people that think it's a bubble now are still going to be left behind. Because the people that think it's a bubble are going to essentially say, hey, I'm not going to touch anything until after. Sure. But while things are dropping is when smart people are buying things up. Now, that doesn't mean there's not going to be a correction in the meantime. It just simply means that either way, with a bubble or without, we are still watching the most influential technology hit the market. There were people back in the 90s who were like, oh, we don't need emails. Sure. We don't need internet. Just call my phone. Sure. Those people did not make money off of the internet. I think it is very easy for us to sit on the sidelines and argue, hey, this is fake. This is not real. There are trillions of dollars that are being spent on all of this technology. Ignore it or not, it's being built. And I think the smartest people right now are saying, hey, let me at least get my portion of the pie. But hey, we saw this back in the internet times. The internet did go through a correction. And sure enough, there were still lots of money to be made. And smart people right now are preparing for that moment. Now, with that said, headline number 2, the secret deals that actually made the $1 trillion dream possible. What happened? I'm glad you asked. OpenAI back in the day came out as a nonprofit, and they had this unique structure, which was called a capped profit structure in 2019. And then they said, hey, we need to completely change that to a for-profit company by May of 2025. What people may not know is that Microsoft, because of all of this now, has a stake where Microsoft owns roughly 27 to 33%. Thank you, Stephanie. 33% of OpenAI. I'll say that again. The easy play here, the easy idea is buy Microsoft. Microsoft owns 27% of OpenAI. But we're not here to be average. Anybody who jumps on Google is going to know that Microsoft owns about a third of ChatGPT. Depending on how you do the math, that means Microsoft has basically invested about $13 billion into ChatGPT, which is a large lump sum of money. Apple, fun fact, has already started integrating ChatGPT into iOS 18, into their iPads and their Macs. Now, I think the 17 Pro is, the first phone, or the 17, I think, is the first phone to actually have the technology there. But Apple has already started saying, hey, we're integrating ChatGPT directly into our iPhones. Amazon, which, fun fact, invested in the competitor to ChatGPT. I think they put in about $4 billion into a company called Anthropic. Separately, just a few weeks ago, came out and said, hey, we want a partnership with OpenAI. And essentially put in about $35 billion to make sure that they had a partnership directly with ChatGPT/OpenAI. And OpenAI, on top of that, their revenue is growing incredibly fast. Incredibly fast. At the start of this year, they were doing about $4.3 billion in revenue. Last numbers that I could find, because of course they're a private company, they don't really have to report all this information. They only report it because they want people to know that they're really crushing it. The last numbers that we saw is just that they are well beyond $20 billion in revenue right now. And that's old information because we don't know when they decided to share that. So essentially, let me rewind a little bit here because I got excited. I shared a lot of information in a very short amount of time. Going from a nonprofit to a for-profit company is absolutely insane. It has never been done before. That is the equivalent of the Red Cross, one of the largest nonprofits in the world, suddenly saying, hey, actually, we're going to be a for-profit company. And now we are worth $1 trillion. The amount of legal gymnastics that you have to go through in order to do that is absolutely insane. Well, guess who did it? ChatGPT. And on top of that, they were the first company to ever create a capped profit structure. Back in 2019, they basically said, hey, we're going to make money, but we promise we are not going to make too much money. Too much. And then by May of 25, they said, actually, I lied. We're making a lot of money, so we need to go over to a for-profit structure. But by starting out as a nonprofit, it gave them a huge advantage. They were able to hire some of the smartest people on earth to come in and work with them pretty much for peanuts. They got the smartest people in technology, in AI, to say, hey, come over here, build this for us or build this with us. And we have no idea whether or not we're ever going to make money. Those people who happen to be scientists were super excited about that and said, absolutely, I want to build the world's most important technology, especially if it's going to be free to the world. And as a result, those people came over, cut their salary in half to go and work for this crazy little man named Sam Altman. Sure enough, Sam Altman said, yo, this is going way better than what we expected. What do y'all think we should do? All those AI researchers turned around and said, yeah, let's turn this into a profit machine. We just created the world's most valuable technology since the internet. Yeah, I want a piece of the pie. Yeah, I want some of that money. So all those people turned around and said, absolutely, let's do it. Let's focus on going to a for-profit entity. And at the time, they thought they were saving humanity by creating AI. And, you know, there are some people who argue that AI is going to help save humanity. There are some people who argue that AI is going to destroy humanity. I'll leave that up to you to decide. However, what I am very confident on is just that AI is going to impact all of humanity. And I think it's the same sort of argument that we have with guns. Is AI, do guns hurt people? Depends on who you ask. Some people are going to say, no, guns don't hurt people. Humans hurt people. And some people are going to say, absolutely, guns hurt people. You figure that out on your own. But what we all can acknowledge is just that AI is going to impact us all. And my angle is always going back to, hey, how do I make money off of this? Because somebody's going to be making money off of it. I want to be a part of that group. Now, with that said, those researchers turned around and realized that they were sitting on millions of dollars worth of stock. And they were like, yo, we need to turn this into a for-profit company. They got the golden handcuffs. They built the most important technology in human history. And then they said, yo, and it's worth millions now, according to most recent records, worth $500 billion. Absolutely. It's hard to say no when you have that much money sitting in front of you and all you got to say is yes, convert it over to equity. And I think there are still other layers to why this gets so interesting. Some people, some investors think that these massive deals that OpenAI has been signing is out of desperation. Why does this company need so much money? I'm sure everybody has heard the news around all of the deals that OpenAI is signing. And then other people say this is probably one of the largest land grabs in history. Everyone is trying to own a piece of this AI world that we're walking towards. But when you look at the deal flow acceleration, here's what I am seeing. The price is going up and is going up quickly. The later that you arrive, the more you pay. I'll say that again. The price is going up exponentially. What did my guy say? Expeditiously. The price is going up expeditiously. Expeditiously. That's TI, y'all, if y'all don't know. And the later you arrive to the party, the more you got to pay to get in. And this is what I mean when I say, like, some people are going to sit on the sidelines and argue till their last breath and say, hey, this is not real. It's going to evaporate one day. It's not going to be here in 5 years. Sure thing. But if you happen to change your mind in 5 years, understand that we got in way earlier than you. And you're going to pay an extra premium for waiting so long. Perfect example, if you don't believe me right now, Microsoft got 30% of OpenAI for only $13 billion. Only $13 billion. The company is worth $500 billion right now. Microsoft paid $13 billion to get 30% of it. Amazon had to pay essentially $4 billion just to get a piece of Anthropic, which is the competitor. Back when Elon Musk invested, he was only throwing in $45 million. Today, this company is worth, again, $500 billion. We're seeing this across the board. The later you join in, the more you have to pay. China is also putting a boatload of money around trying to figure out how do they get their piece of the pie. And on top of that, we're watching oil countries essentially say oil is old. We don't care about that anymore. We want to now focus on AI. Saudi Arabia right now is actually assembling a $100 billion fund in order to make sure that they are getting a piece of the pie here. The wealthiest countries on earth who have all of this oil money are saying, yo, we're pulling together $100 billion to make sure that we get exposure here. We're talking about everyone who has money assembling all of their money to say, yo, something is changing and something is changing quickly. And then you have the random people on the sidelines who are sitting here arguing that AI is not something that is going to change the world. You have the wealthiest and the smartest people on earth all agreeing on the same thing. AI is here to stay. Accept it or not, it is happening. Saudi Arabia, perfect example. Again, they're pulling together $100 billion to say, hey, we're going to use all of this investments towards specifically AI. If you don't believe me, go ahead and Google it. It is called Project Transistence. Go ahead and Google it. I know I just butchered it. Go ahead and check it out if you don't believe me. Google Saudi Arabia, $100 billion fund. You are going to recognize that, again, the wealthiest and the smartest people on earth are all scrambling to get a portion of this AI. Elon Musk built a competitor because he was just like, hey, I built you and now I don't own you anymore. Cool, I'm going to build another one. China is throwing billions of dollars behind this as well. We are seeing our entire, administration come out and say, hey, we need to make sure that we're putting trillions of dollars into this. We are seeing other billionaires go out and say, cool, I want a piece of the pie as well. When you start to recognize that so many people who have so much more money than all of us are seeing and recognizing that something is changing, it at least has to make you question, what are they seeing that I'm not seeing? These billionaires are looking at countries from like a 30,000 feet view. On our end, as regular people, we're saying, oh, we're only paying attention to what's happening outside of our front doors. But just because you only see what's happening out your front doors does not mean the world is not changing. Just because you can only see what's happening outside your front door does not mean the world is not changing. Every single country on earth right now is scrambling to figure out how do they get a piece of AI. A few videos ago, I spoke about this idea of sovereign AI, where all of these companies around the world are saying, we need our own AI that is not controlled by the United States. And all these people are pouring billions and billions of dollars. Again, Saudi Arabia is $100 billion. So regardless of what you personally feel, just at least think about this idea like, okay, why are all these billionaires? Why are all these countries? Why are all these incredibly smart AI researchers? Why are all these random nerds on TikTok talking about AI? Why is this random guy, Benson or Phillip, spending hours talking about AI is going to change the world? when I still believe it's not that big of a deal? Maybe just by a sliver of a chance, what if I happen to be wrong? What if I wake up in 5 years and realize that I've been hearing about this forever? Am I still going to feel confident to say I was wrong and I don't care? Or am I wise enough? Am I wise enough to say maybe just by a small percentage of the chance, these random billionaires, tech nerds, countries, random investors on TikTok, what if they just happen to be right? Maybe. Let me just imagine that world where they could possibly be right. If you don't have the wisdom to sit back and question your own beliefs here, take that opportunity now. Take that opportunity now. Because in 5 years, this world is going to look very different. Whether you want to accept it or not, it is going to look very different. And if you're smart, you're starting to load up. You're starting to put your money behind some of these winning companies. And for us at Benson, we've been doing that for the last 2 years, y'all. For y'all that don't know, what is Benson? Benson is your AI investing app that does all of your investing for you automatically. We research thousands of stocks each month and show you our best 10. Once you approve the ones you like, we take care of the rest, buying and selling all automatically. Something that people may not know about the company is that my company, Benson, has been around for 5 years. We started in 2020. For the first 2 years, we struggled. And I mean struggled. I was happy at that point in time having 100 people use our first product. When ChatGPT came out, I rebuilt the business from the ground up. What we do today, in order to do this 5 years ago, you needed 100 people on your team. Today, we have 5 people and about 70 different pieces of AI that are helping us do all of the research, all of the analysis, all of the investing, all of the reinvesting, all of the monitoring as well. So when I say, yes, AI is going to change the world, but on top of that, AI has fundamentally changed my company. In 2023, when ChatGPT came out, I rewrote my entire business. My entire company built from the ground up after. Our first few products sucked. AI came out, I turned around and said, hey, we can do so much more if we're thinking bigger, and let's start well before anybody else pays attention. What I started to do was build an algorithm that was essentially responsible for grabbing all these different pieces of information. 10Ks, 10Qs, Wall Street reports, analyst reports, management reports. And then from there saying, hey, cool. Built a second AI to say, hey, now help me analyze all this. Here are all the things that I have identified are important for great companies. Cool. Now, fun fact, what I actually did with my own money was I gave my AI, I think $10,000 of my own money. And this is well before we launched the actual app. I gave it $10,000 of my own money and said, hey, go out and invest it, because I wanted to assess how smart our AI actually was. I'll tell you right now. I went to go and check out that portfolio, I think last week. I hadn't seen it in a while because I had a lot of validation to say our AI is really good at what we do. The best stock we found at that point in time, as of right now, and I'm pulling this up on my phone so I could actually see the number. The first stock that we had the tool invest in today is up 775%. That was 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, I gave my original AI $10,000 to invest. The first investment it made is up 775%. So when I get on here and I say like, yo, this AI stuff is real. Yes, part of it is because I can look outside my windows and see all these billionaires assembling their massive troves of AI. But on top of that, I can see it for my own business. My company is 5 people deep. We right now are investing a few $1 million every single week, all using AI. And then we have regular people who are saying, hey, I didn't know anything about investing. And yet they are up 70%. So yes, there is one part of it, like I can look outside my windows, but I get to talk to these people almost on a daily basis and say, hey, we see the data. The writing is on the wall. You are a person who never invested before. And then within 10 months, you were like, oh my God, I have 70% returns on my investment. My portfolio is up up to $40,000 at this point. Fun fact, those are not numbers that are made up. Pam, those were your numbers. Pam and I spoke about this earlier today. We spoke about this earlier. But the person one of the people in the chat right now is the perfect example of what I'm talking about. Pam started, at that point in time, she had not done much of any stock market investing. And what Pam did was essentially say, cool, I'm going to give it a shot for a little bit. Started going very well. As of today, Pam has over $40,000 invested. And on top of that, her portfolio is up 70%. And that is because we are all using these tools to actually go out and do the work for us. You do not need to start with a lot of money, but the most important thing is do not sit around on your hands. Watch me jump on these TikTok lives, talk about the exact same thing every single time. Or you turn on the news and watch every single day for the last 2 or 3 years. Everybody is talking about AI. Do not be that person that turns around and says, nope, I still think it's fake. Yep, I see these countries assembling billions of dollars. I see the largest tech companies on earth laying off people and then investing billions of dollars into this AI. I see this random black dude jump on TikTok every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. to talk about how AI is ultimately changing our entire world. Do not be that person that wakes up in 5 years and be like, man, I wish somebody would have told me, because I am telling you now, the only thing right now that I think you should be considering, yes, I want you to download my app. Yes, I want you to use Benson to do your investing because we're really good at it. But even if you are not on Benson, I need you to think about in your private. I need you to think about, what if I'm wrong? What if you are wrong that AI is going to be here? What if by a small chance that you are wrong? Because I know, of course, we all are always right 100% of the time. What if we're wrong, though? What if this AI stuff is actually going to be here for the next 100 years? And you got to watch it all happen and you decided to do nothing. I don't want you to go to that finish line and be like, man, I heard this random black guy talk about this for now 2 years straight. I was on his lives. I was on there listening. I was on there sharing I was on there hearing all the advice and feedback that this guy gave me about what's about to happen. And I decided to do nothing. Don't be that person. Understand that the world is constantly changing. And right now we are all watching how AI is changing the entire world. Don't be the person that sits on your hands. And I'm not saying that you need to be as excited about the future as I am. I'm not saying that by any means, but I need you to, at the end of the day, make an active decision on whether or not you are going to participate in this change that is happening, or are you going to sit on the sidelines and hope that you are right? Because, of course, you've always been right with every single decision. Let's be honest here. Even if it doesn't grow to be as big as I think it's going to be, what if it grows to be half of it? And you had the opportunity to jump on board early before everyone else. Because when we go out into our regular neighborhoods, it's fascinating because sometimes I'm exhausted with telling regular people that we are watching the world change. I'm like, I don't even want to tell people what I do sometimes. I'm like, look, I built a whole investment firm from the ground up using AI. I am now able to compete with Wall Street because I understand how to use AI. We release a daily podcast directly into our app every single day, Monday through Friday. We analyze about at least 6,000 stocks every single month, and then share it with all the people on Benson. We then from there invest in all of those companies and then reinvest as they continue to perform, all using AI. And then on top of that, you go into the app and you click a button and you're like, hey, Benson, what's my best stock? And then Benson is going to respond and it's going to sound exactly like me, all using AI. So like you are watching so many things in front of you right now that are all being changed by AI. Don't sit on the sidelines. Don't pretend that you have this crystal ball and you know exactly where the world is going. Hedge your bets. Say, cool, what if this random black guy happens to be right? Let me throw a little bit of my money into this. Just a little bit. Not even talking about Benson. Yes, I want you to download Benson. Absolutely. But not even talking about Benson. I'm talking about this idea of investing in AI because we see that this is where the world is going. We've seen this happen before. People sit on the sidelines, pretend that they have a crystal ball. They can see the future perfectly. And they hope that, you know, they're right. And it never works out. We saw this with the internet. You had people said newspapers are going to be here forever. When's the last time you bought a newspaper, baby? It's been a really long time. Oh, you don't need emails? Sure thing. When is the last time you got a piece of mail in the letterbox that was handwritten? It doesn't happen. It's because we have all realized that whether or not we want to accept it, change is happening. We've all heard the term, the only thing that's constant is change. Change is happening now. Don't sleep on it. Now, with that said, the third and final bullet point here that I want to cover because I've been talking for way too long. Hannah, good to see you. Good to see you, Jess Rod. The last thing that I want to talk about here, because I've been talking way too long, is that I am so excited about what's happening right now, specifically today. The stock market got beat up today. I care about every single person that happens to sit here and listen for 5 minutes, because whether or not you download the app, whether or not you actually agree with what I'm saying, I'm hoping that you're able to walk away with one piece of information that just makes you look at the world just slightly, ever so slightly differently. And because of that, I don't even care about the likes right now. I appreciate everybody that's helping me get there. If you really want to help, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube. It is called Benson Report. But I didn't share a stock last time. I do want to share one stock right now that I think is incredibly exciting. And to be fair, we got about 20 or 30 different stocks that we think are incredibly exciting right now. But this stock happened to have gotten beat up today. So I was just like, why not? It doesn't hurt me to go ahead and share this. So last and third bullet point on this docket today, there is a $30 billion company right now that I define as the AI landlord that some people care about, but most people have never heard about. And what I can say is that in 2 years or so, when OpenAI is public, you're finally going to hear about this company. You are going to say, man, I wish somebody told me about this company a year ago. And then I'm going to take a screenshot and send you a screenshot of you in the chat here and be like, bro, I did tell you a year ago. Or I'm going to send you this old YouTube video that is being recorded now and say, I told you this on November 4th, 2025. And told you that there are about 20 companies that are going to do incredibly well because of OpenAI going public. And this just happens to be one of the many that we are super excited about, where it is such an easy one for me to share that I'm like, look, this is actually on our top 10 on our top 10 list this month. And I am still going to say, fine, it's okay. Share it. Because I know for a fact, unless you're on Benson, if you are not on Benson, 90% of people are going to walk away and be like, cool, I'm going to watch it for the next, 6 months, and not realizing that over the next 6 months is going to dominate every other investment you've made. Now, of course, that does not mean be silly. That does not mean go out and throw all of your rent money into this stock. That simply means understand this company. If you disagree with me, go ahead and do your research. If you're on Benson, good job. You've already seen the stock. You likely already approved it. If you're in the CEO club last week, I had Benson buy it for you early before everyone else. So you likely already have it. I'm just saying be on the lookout for more growth with this stock. Pay attention because things are happening. This company essentially is the AI landlord right now. They just signed a multi-year, multi-billion-dollar agreement with Microsoft. And it's because they are building a 300 megawatts AI data center in New Jersey, specifically for AI. And on top of that, this company is guiding towards $900 million to basically $1.1 billion worth of annual recurring revenue by the year end of 2025. For all of us tech people, this is a company that we have been excited about for a really long time. Over the last quarter, this company, its revenue has jumped up by 625%. The stock has absolutely dominated this year. The market cap of this company is also only around $30 billion. And on top of that, they are supplying Microsoft, which again, by the way, has a 30% ownership of ChatGPT. Before I share the name of this company, I just want to give you a little information because I know that unless you're on Benson, you are not about to do any sort of research. So let me be that person that provides you some research on this company. What does this company do? So you know how ChatGPT essentially needs massive computers to work? We're talking at like some people think that ChatGPT is just some mystical thing in the air or in the cloud. And in reality, what actually happens is just that there are warehouses full of NVIDIA chips. Those chips run 24/7. OpenAI does not exist without those chips. Those chips need a facility that they run in. And this company is responsible for building that facility. So if you want AI, this company is building the warehouse that houses all of those billions of NVIDIA chips. And as a result of that, they rent the computing power to all of these companies. You can think of this as, again, they are the landlord for artificial intelligence. If they are the landlord for artificial intelligence, as artificial intelligence continues to grow, this company grows. And the part that nobody understands is just that AI companies are desperate for more computing power. There's literally not enough to go around. NVIDIA's new Blackwell chips are already sold out. They're already on back order for the next year. Data centers are being booked solid, meaning if you want a data center, the next time you're able to get one is probably going to be in 2 years. And again, this company builds those warehouses. What this company did, they saw this coming, and what they decided to do was turn their entire business towards AI. They don't just stack up these servers in a warehouse, but they provide all of the systems that you need. They provide the cooling systems to cool down all of these AI chips. They provide the custom networking that connects all of these chips inside of these warehouses. They also do all of the cluster management, aka how these AIs train each other to become super efficient. And this New Jersey facility is actually pretty interesting because it is right near Wall Street, meaning this company builds these data centers that all of Wall Street is going to need in order to continue getting smarter and faster. And on top of that, this company just locked in a huge contract with Microsoft for multi-billion dollars for multiple years. Think about this. Everybody wants to start a delivery business. This is just a simple example. Everybody wants to start a delivery business, but there are only 10 trucks in the entire world. This company that I'm talking about here happens to own 3 of those trucks, and they're building 5 more of those trucks. So while everybody else is still arguing about who gets to drive, this company is saying, I don't care who gets to drive. I'm building the vehicles that allow you to get out on the road in the first place. This company is none other than Nebius, ticker NBIS. I'll say that again. This company is none other than Nebius. All of us tech nerds have been watching this company for a while. We've enjoyed it. We like the company. And just as of late, it has finally checked off that final box that we have been waiting for. And now Nebius has hit our top 10 list. And fortunately for you, if you are watching this video live, Nebius is one of those companies that got beat up today. So if you happen to like it, you happen to, feel like, hey, this seems compelling. Maybe something to think about. Maybe add this company to your watch list. For people on Benson, you already got it. Especially if you're in the CEO club, you already got it. And again, we're still in the first inning. There are still 19, 20 other companies that all fall in the same ballpark that we are just as excited about. This just happens to be one of those companies that I'm like, I will share this out loud. I hope that some random person who is not even on Benson decides to go and look at this later and say, wow, this is a company that is super exciting. And then they're going to wake up in 6 months and be like, wow, I really wish I bought some of this when I first heard about it. And if you're on Benson, you're solid. If you approved this stock on Benson already, Benson is already going to be buying more for you. It's going to do it automatically. And every time it catches a dip, it's going to buy more and more and more. And it's going to do that all for you while you're completely asleep. Because just like Nebius, we are excited about AI. And we're using AI to do all of this investing. This is one of those companies that if you think AI is a joke, if you think that AI is going to blow up and disappear just because you don't like AI, watch this company for the next 5 years. Again, that does not mean you go and throw all of your money into this single stock. That's not what smart investors do. That is not what smart investors do. Smart investors buy a little bit more as it performs better, buy a little bit more when it dips, buy a little bit more when they feel like, oh, okay, people may be overlooking it. People have overreacted. That's how smart investors attack this game of investing. If you're on Benson, all you got to do is approve it. We take care of the rest. But if you're trying to do this all on your own, go and watch the company. Hopefully you are going to know when it's time to buy more. Hopefully you're going to know when it's time to sell, because at some point in time, it will be time to sell. But this one is just one of the 20 or other so stocks that we're like, hey, if this IPO with ChatGPT actually happens, this company is going to dominate. This is also not even the best one of the 20. So I hope that you get to walk away with something around this whole AI thing. I've been talking for about an hour and a half, and I do think that we have learned a lot here. We've gone over what the heck is this ChatGPT thing? How did it get here? Who's the creator of it? How is Elon Musk involved? What is going to happen over the next, X number of years? And then, of course, what is just one of the many companies that are riding this AI wave? Nebius happens to be one of them. Again, that is ticker NBIS. That does not mean you go and throw all your money into it. That does not mean you go and be silly and say, hey, I'm going to sell everything else and buy only Nebius. No. That's not smart. Even if you were on Benson, we would not do that for you. But it is just something to put on your radar if you are trying to do this all on your own. Of course, if you're on Benson, you're set. All you got to do is approve it. We take care of the rest. And for those that are here who still don't know what Benson is your AI investing app that does all of your investing for you automatically. We research thousands of stocks each month and show you our best 10. Once you approve the ones you like, we take care of the rest, buying and selling all automatically. And yes, we absolutely buy fractional shares for you. And yes, we automatically do everything for you. And yes, every single week, even while you forget about it, Benson is going to be investing for you. And yes, we are watching the news. And yes, we are reading Wall Street reports. And yes, we are reading 10Ks and 10Qs, sentiment analysis. And yes, we are doing fundamental analysis fundamental analysis on every single stock that hits our top 10. And it is all happening for you all automatically. And yes, the app does automatically sell for you as well. So those are just one of the few things. And on top of that, you get a daily podcast every single day, letting you know what's happening in the market. How is this impacting you? What do you need to know? All you do is go straight to the App Store, download Benson AI, sign up, and heck, I am even going to text you after you subscribe. Sign up. I'm going to check in and be like, hey, you need any help? Let me know what I can help with. I'm going to text you from my personal cell. And I will say, some people truly don't think that I actually text them. So just letting you know, I do actually text people to check in. Pam just dropped something that I think is super, super important. We have a lot of features inside the app. There is one feature that we have not done a good job of promoting. So if you are on Benson, I want you to do something right now. If you are on Benson, y'all, what the heck? My dog just let out the loudest fart, and I hope that y'all did not hear that. But my whole room stinks right now because of my dog farting in his sleep. This is terrible, y'all. With that said, open up Benson, click in the top left, click on tools and resources, and then click on monthly reports. Select the month of October, and you are going to see the percentage return that your portfolio has as of today. And just for the people who don't believe me, this one is mine. This is my Benson portfolio right now as of October 31st. 63% return since January. So if you are trying to find that inside of the app, click on profile in the top left, click on tools and resources, and look at your monthly report. I don't think we have done a good job of really sharing just how well some people are doing. I don't think we have done a good job of even promoting the monthly reports. The monthly report is just our way of saying, hey, look, we've been investing. Here's how things are going for you. So again, open up Benson, click on the profile button in the top left, click on tools and resources, and then click on monthly reports, select the month of October so that you can see as of October. Wow, hold up. Parvell just dropped her number. October of 2025, she's at 76%. 76%. That is somebody in the chat, by the way. Y'all can look there and see it yourself. I didn't write that in. Parvell is at 76%. And again, mine, 63. Mine, 63. Sasha's 116. My returns are better than 98% of the people that are using the app. There are still people who are better than me. That's actually insane. I have been investing for 36 weeks consistently, no breaks. I'll pause right there because there's one or two more slides to show. Consistency is the key here. You don't get these sorts of returns by, I'm going to invest for 1 week and then just see how it goes. You don't get there. You don't get there by not being consistent. Sasha, Pam, Parvell, can y'all drop, what is y'all streak? How many weeks have you been consistently investing? And in my case, I know some people are going to have better numbers than me, but 36 weeks straight is my streak. And then last thing, I won't share that one. I won't share the name of it, but the stock right there says my best performer is up 412%. And that's a stock that we picked 3 months ago. I won't share the name because it's a bit too risky for regular people. But the stock that is one of my star performers right now is 412% returns. Pam just dropped her numbers in the chat. Her streak is 27 weeks consistently, no breaks. Her return, 78%. Her portfolio is over $40,000. Stephanie has a streak of 41 weeks straight. It's insane when you think about just how much people's portfolios have been growing. And Ms. Pierce asked a question, which is, how do I get to see this inside of Benson? It's a feature that we have not promoted well, so sorry that it is not crystal clear. Click on profile, open up Benson, click on profile in the top left, and then you are going to see something that says tools and resources. Click on tools and resources and then tap monthly reports. From there, you're going to see the monthly reports. I think we started monthly reports back in June. Look at June, July. Actually, I will show y'all because this is always exciting for me. These are the monthly reports. I'm going to start with June. At the time of June, my portfolio was up 23%. Oh, no, May. Thank you. So in May, 23% was where I was at. I go back, look at June. It was 25%. Not too bad. Keep in mind, the stock market at that point was only up about 8%. I go back, look at July, the third one, and 28%. Cool. Not anything crazy different yet, but still, let's be honest, 28% return is just absolutely insane. I go back, I look at the month of August, 34%. Okay, now we're starting to see some real difference there. I go back again, click on September, 58% returns. 58, that's for the month of September. I go back, click on October, 63%. 63%. Yeah, there we go. So again, the goal here is, yes, everybody wants to, wake up and be like, I'm a millionaire tomorrow. Most people who have lived life and are over the age of 20 realize making $1 million overnight is impossible. The only way you're going to do that is if you hit the lottery or go to the casino. But if you're smart, you're using AI to do your investing for you. These are the sort of returns that people are seeing on Benson. This is literally my account. There are other people in the chat. But if you want to check it out, all you do is go straight to the App Store, download Benson, sign up. I'm even going to text you to say, hey, let me know what you need, subscribe, and let the AI start doing the investing for you. Even if you happen to believe that you are a great investor, even if you happen to believe that, compare your results to what Benson is going to be able to do for you. Set Benson up, let it run on autopilot, and then you and your own other Charles Schwab or whatever you use, start doing your own investing, and let's just see how things shape out over the next 6-12 months. Because what I can always say is just that, yes, it's cool that the tool does the research. Yes, it's cool that the tool is doing the buying and the selling for you. But I, at the end of the day, think the real benefit of the tool is that it is watching over everything while you forget about it. You're going to wake up one day and be like, oh my God, Trump is ending the world. And then you're going to be like, I should sell everything. And then the AI is going to be like, hold on, slow down, buddy. Slow down. That's not what we do here. What we do here is buy the dip, and it's going to do that for you automatically while you forget about it. And then you're going to wake up in some time and be like, man, this is way better than what I would have been able to do on my own. There is a beautiful benefit of having something that is just doing the work for you. You don't need to be an expert to use the app. It is pretty simple. With that said, y'all, I've been talking for an hour and 33 minutes long. 33 minutes long, which is just crazy. I've been saying for the last few weeks that I'm trying to get these down to 45 minutes, but sometimes y'all just hype me up. I got a lot of information to talk about. I get excited, and then I end up talking for an hour and a half. I'm working on it. I am absolutely working on it. But let me open the floor for questions. Mr. Gemini said, I am in the CEO club. I don't see the purchase for that stock early. That is because I hit everyone up on Thursday and I was just like, hey, I need help with something. Would you mind helping me out? Those people that helped me out, I said, hey, I'll share with you one of the stocks early. Mr. Gemini is either that you didn't respond when I hit you up, or you joined the CEO club after I sent that message out. But I sent that message out Thursday. I needed help with something. People who decided to help, I was just like, hey, here's one of the stocks early. Is it fine for me to go out and buy? They said yes. So Mr. Gemini, I hope that helps. Mr. Gemini, tell me your name, because maybe you just jumped in after I sent that message. So that could be it. Any questions before I dip, y'all? I've been talking for an hour and a half. Somebody said, what is the profitability rate of Benson AI? You are using a term that I think most like day traders use. What I can say is that for our January cohort, people who have been consistent since the month of January, what they are seeing right now is somewhere around 70-80% returns. At the end of the day, the simple answer is generally way better than what most individuals and what Wall Street is doing. And that's how I answer it. So I hope that answers the question, but there is no such thing as a win rate because we are long-term investors. We buy more and we continue to buy. So we aren't just selling just because the stock is up. That's really like a term that like day traders use. But I understand the intention behind the question, which is, is it actually good? Yes, is the short answer. It is doing way better than what I have seen from every individual investor I've ever met. Delisa said, I will set my account up on Friday. Sure thing. Don't forget, Delisa, I've seen this happen 100 times. Oh, I'm going to do it when blah, blah, blah. Delisa, stuff is changing, so don't drag your feet on it. ATN said, I got an iPad and need help. ATN, you have been here for months. Tell me what you need help with. Did you download the app? Did you subscribe? Did you sign up? What do you need help with? Jason Spicer said, app is worth it. That is the most clean, simple response from somebody in the chat that just dropped. App is worth it. Jason Spicer does not come in here talking often. Jason has been on the app for months. Jason said, app is worth it. That's it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Delisa said, okay, maybe tomorrow, not Thursday. Thanks. Sure thing, Delisa. Let me know if you need help. Somebody else said, how much is needed to open an account? You can quite literally get started investing as little as $15 every week. We don't care how much you start with. We care that you start and you are consistent. So if you're like, hey, I can only invest $15 a week, great job. You hit the threshold. The $15 a week investing is about $60 a month. If you are able to do that, you are solid. You can tell Benson to invest up to $300 a week if you wanted to. So somewhere between $15 and $300. ATN, you haven't dropped your question. What's your question? Let me know what your question is so that I can help answer it. But you have been here for some time. So let me know. Janice said, what happened? That is the fact that there was not enough cash in the account to complete the order, Janice. 18, I'm still waiting on your question. Did I miss it? Willow said, I have had this app on my phone for months and never set it up until now. Willow, I am sorry to hear that because the stock market has been crushing it, especially if you've had it for months. I am sorry to hear that, but I am glad that you are finally getting started. Again, if you don't have an iPad or an iPhone, the next best option for you is to go ahead and subscribe to the newsletter. The newsletter, you can find it on meetbenson.com. That's MEETBENSON.com. And at bare minimum, you'll get our top 10 stocks each and every month. So if you don't have an iPad or an iPhone, that's the next best option. But Willow said the reason why they had downloaded and never signed up is because they were scared. I get it. I am a big old black guy sitting here talking about money. But the whole point of me jumping here is also to say, hey, we don't have the luxury of being afraid for too long. I want you to feel comfortable. That's why I jump on here, I answer questions, I share information, but you cannot allow fear to stop you from taking action on these important things. And at the end of the day, every single one of us, we all have a relationship with money that if we don't start addressing, is going to consume us. We should not be allowing fear to stop us from taking reasonable steps. That is coming from a place of care, not chastising you, and I don't care what it is. For y'all that don't know, I run marathons. I am a 6'3", big old black guy. I did not run growing up. I was terrified of it. But nonetheless, after a while, I was like, look, if I ever want to get in shape, if I ever want to, be able to outrun my kids at 60 years old, I need to start somewhere. And to this date, I've ran 4 marathons. You don't allow fear to continue eating you alive because it will devour you. Don't do that. And I don't care if it's running. I don't care if it's working out. I don't care if it's, of course, I don't want you to be sitting on the sideline with Benson. But understand that while you are sitting on the sidelines afraid, there are other people who are like, look, I've been here. I've been answering questions. There are other people in the chat that are here and answering questions for me so that they can let you know. Don't allow fear to consume you for too long. And again, even if you're not using Benson, I still want you to be invested in the stock market. And yes, I absolutely want you to download my app, but even if you are not on Benson, I still want you to be invested in the stock market. Because at the end of the day, there is more than enough room for us to all eat. Our job is just to make it easy, but there is more than enough room for us to all eat here. Duce asked a question that I get all the time. Duce, so I appreciate you asking it. Duce said, why don't you have an app for Android? I'm going to be honest. It's quite simple. My company is 5 people. I run my team with a very clear goal. We don't move on to the next thing until we do the first thing very, very well. We still have things inside of the iPhone version or the the iPhone version of the app that we still are working on. In about 2 weeks, we're about to release this feature called investing goals. We're going to help you create your first investment goal, and then we're going to help you actually get there. What I mean by that, when I say all of this, is that there is still a lot for us to improve with our current app. It is very difficult for me to say, cool, I'm going to do 50% with the iPhone app so that I can do another 50% on the Android app. That's just not how I operate. I want things to be good. And I get feedback every single day. Oh, cool. I need you to fix this. Can you display this information? Can you, make this a bit more simple? All of that feedback takes time. It takes time for us to improve on those things. And before we jump into an Android version, we need to have a very solid, very, very solid iPhone version. We're a small team. We don't have unlimited resources. We are only able to grow by keeping all of our current users happy. And if those people are not happy, they delete their accounts. We lose. It doesn't work. So for us, we've said, hey, let's focus on making sure the people that are using the app now are continuing to feel like, hey, they're getting their feedback validated by us building those new features. So at the end of the day, it's quite simple. We're a small company. We don't have many resources. We want to make sure that the people that we are serving now are getting the value that they are signing up for. Plain and simple. But at the end of the day, if you are on an Android, you can't just go ahead and download, if you're on Android, you can just go ahead and subscribe to the newsletter. Devil Dog said Android might influence some ideas. Absolutely. But setting up Android will cost a few $100,000 for us to go out and build, if I'm being completely honest. Willow said, setup button now. Go to the App Store and just make sure that you are on the most updated version. So go to the App Store, search for Benson, and make sure that you are on the most recent version. If it says update, that means you got to update it. That's plain and simple. Rich Auntie said, Benson is where it is at. But yeah, to set up the Android version, it's going to cost us a few $100,000 to build it. We got to make sure that, we do a good job first with this first version. Morgan, I see a question that just rolled in. Morgan is texting me right now. And again, I do text people that are using my app. So don't be surprised if you download the app that you will get a text message from me. But Morgan said, how long does it take for money to actually hit your account? Morgan, I see that you just deposited an additional dollar amount. That is done via an ACH. Likely that is going to be available for you tomorrow. So Benson will likely register that it is there tomorrow, and from there you should be solid. If any of your orders did not go through, go ahead to Benson. You can place it manually tomorrow if you want to. But with that said, I think Benson is going to notice that you now have more cash there, and it will take it. Y'all know who has not responded to me still? This person, Atian. Atian, you jumped in and you asked, hey, I need help. Where are you at, Atian? Where are you at? Because you jumped in and you were like, hey, I got a lot of questions. I need help. And I'm like, Atian, what do you need? Tell me what you need so I can help you. Atian, tell me what you need so I can help you. Dak Prescott, that is hilarious. Hope you're doing something about that. Atian, what do you need? So Atian said, Webull is not working for me. What do you mean Webull is not working for you, Atian? Somebody said, will I be able to invest without selecting a specific stock, or can I select a basket of, say, 5 stocks? Benson is going to share with you our top 10 every month. Your job is to look at those and approve the ones that you like. So we are sharing our top 10. So you don't got to go out and do anything. It is, hey, these are our top 10. Which ones do you like? You can even listen to Benson explain the stocks to you. Yeah. Gary, you are getting a lot of support from people in the chat right now, and they are saying exactly what I would tell you, which is, it is never too late to start investing. The best time to have started is yesterday. The next best time is quite literally today. Everybody has to understand that. Look, as I can't see your icon, but we just got to be honest. As Black people, we have not been taught the game of investing. It is what it is. The only goal here is to actually start. Break the cycle of saying, hey, we are not going to be investing, and instead say, hey, we have not been investing because we have not been taught. It's fine, but that's where we are now. Let's get to work. That's how you should be thinking about it. We don't care about lost time because we can't do anything about lost time. The only thing that we can do is decide that it has been too long and it is time to get in the game. The sooner that you understand that, you don't care about any lost time, period. That is the most important thing, Gary. But I do appreciate everybody that responded to Gary because that is a fear that we all have. We all have this idea of, oh, I'm too late. Nah, bro. The only people that are too late are the people who are watching this happen right now, and they're going to wake up in 6 months and be like, man, I saw y'all talk about it. I wish I would have done it. Somebody else said, and this is from the YouTube side. I appreciate Catherine here. Catherine said, I had to invest in an iPhone, but it is the best decision I have ever made. Benson is amazing. That's from the YouTube there. I appreciate you, Catherine. Again, people like, yes, I can sit here and talk for hours about how phenomenal I believe my company is. But at the end of the day, it works so much better when people who are actually using the app actually share their thoughts, their feedback, how their experience has gone. That means so much more because I know for a fact you're going to look at me and be like, oh, of course, he's just trying to get me to use the app. Yes, I do want you to use my app, but there are other people here who can vouch for me, who can vouch that the app does work. It does do its job. And if it doesn't do something that you are thinking, I'm here to help out because I want my product to be better. On top of that, we just hit a major milestone, and this is one of those things that the CEO Club helped me out with. Last week, the ask that I had for people in the CEO Club was like, hey, if you've been doing well with Benson, can you do me a favor and can you go and write a review on the App Store? And that's because like the last time we were doing reviews was like April. And it's just like sometimes it's just random angry people. And I was just like, look, I want people to hear from the people who are also doing well, people who are currently using the app. Can you go and write your experience? Don't tell me what it is until after. I actually want you to go and write a review. And what we saw on Thursday was that we had over 150 new reviews on the App Store. 150 new reviews on the App Store. We finally crossed 1,000 reviews on the App Store. We now have 4.8 stars on the App Store. And if you are not here on TikTok and able to read some of the chats here, go to the App Store and just read the last 10 reviews so that you can actually see what other people are saying as they use the app. Because it is like no joke. I probably shed a dozen tears reading some of those responses, because for me, I get to wake up every day and say, hey, I get to be a part of people finally learning this game of investing. I get to be a part of the process of saying, hey, look, this is something that a person may have felt afraid to do for 10, 20, 30 years. I get to be a part of it and say, cool, I get the fear. We don't care, though. It's time to get to business. Let me help you out. We do this together. My job is to provide as much research as possible, build the tool that is going to do it for you. Your job is to be consistent. Together, we can take down a country. And it is beautiful because we're in the first innings of all of this, y'all. So it means a lot for every single person that one took the time out to write a review. Because when you write those reviews, it does help other people realize like, yes, this guy's going to get up there and talk, but I want to know what you actually feel. So when people read those reviews, that actually moves the needle. It's amazing. And I appreciate every single person that actually wrote one of those reviews. And hey, it's still not too late. If you still, Clifford, I just saw your message. You said I had troubles opening. That's why I didn't get the chance. It is okay, Clifford. I would still appreciate you writing a review, because it does help out when other people get to hear from people like you. People are sometimes tired of hearing me talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday. Like, bro, shut up. We get it. You like investing. We get it. You like AI. We get it. They're tired of hearing from me. So Clifford, it still helps for people to hear from you. It is not too late to write a review. Just go straight to the App Store. Help us out. ATN said, I have a call with you tomorrow. ATN, I am looking forward to it. Let me just double check that I see it on my calendar. Stephanie said, thank you for mentioning it again. I was in bed sick. All good. I am glad that you are better now. ATN said, I have a call with you tomorrow. I see JM Thomas. I don't think that's you, ATN, but if that is you, great job. Yes. And I also, let me rewind a bit, Stephanie. I hope that you are feeling better. Stephanie, you have given me a lot of feedback on the product. Pretty much everybody here has given me a lot of feedback. So I just don't want to brush by the fact that you were sick. I am glad that you are feeling better, Stephanie. And if you're not, I will add you to my prayers tonight. Somebody asked, what is the name of the app? Bing, bing, bing. I'm glad that you asked. The name of the app is Benson AI. It is right above me if you're on TikTok. But if you want to know what it does, Benson is your AI investing app that does all of your investing for you automatically. We research thousands of stocks each month and show you our best 10. Once you approve the ones you like, we take care of the rest, buying and selling all automatically. That is what we do. I've been talking for now 2 hours, y'all. Any final questions before I break? Because I'm going to end it off. Hold on. Keisha said, keep JM in your prayers, everyone. JM, let me scroll up. JM, what just happened, JM? Oh, you're talking about Jamaica. Absolutely. Keisha said, keep Jamaicans in your prayers. Absolutely there. For y'all that don't know, my fiance is Jamaican. Our wedding next year is in Jamaica. So, yeah. Keep Jamaica in prayers, y'all. That is not a fun fact, but that is the largest hurricane to ever hit the country of Jamaica. Fortunately, her family all seems to be safe and okay. Of course, lots of trees and stuff falling over. But yes. Kirk Morgan said, do we need to approve the stock? I love that question, Kirk. Kirk, would you mind jumping to the front? Kirk, are you still here? Come to the front, Kirk, because I love that question. Kirk, just give me a thumbs up to let me know if you're still here or not, because I want to answer and speak to you directly as I respond to that question. Kirk, let me know if you're still here. Chrissy, the stock that I mentioned today, it is on the top 10 list. Click on the button inside of the app that says stocks right at the bottom of the screen. You'll see it right on right there. Click it. It has a green little icon. Click it. Click approve. That'll do it. That will do it, Chrissy. As long as it is approved, you are good. You are good. Sid said, are you live every day starting 7 p.m.? No, Sid, I am not. I am live every day. Not every day. I'm sorry. I am live on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. But nah, I can't sit here and talk for 2 hours every night now. But, you know, I am here Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7:30 Eastern time. Sid, but, you know, if you're on Benson, you can reach out to me 24/7 about whatever you need. Delisa asked a question and said, what is the deadline to approve the stocks when they are released? You have the entire month to do it. And at the end of the month or at the start of the new month, we're going to switch them and share the next top 10. So you have the entire month to do it. The only job that you have is quite literally to set up an auto deposit inside of Webull so that it's there and there's cash available. But outside of that, your only job is to open Benson once a month. Look at the top 10, listen to them, because every time we share a stock, we also share the research, and you can literally have the AI explain the stock to you. It will talk you through why we think the stock is so great. Listen to it, click approve if you like it, and you're done. But you have the entire month to handle it. Great. Any other questions? I think I'm questioned out, y'all. My mouth is dry. With that said, there are 3 ways to get involved. I'll say this again, 3 ways to get involved. The best way for you, the most automatic way for you is going to be, of course, to download the app. It is called Benson AI. You need to be on an iPhone. You need to be in the United States. But if you want the AI doing the investing for you, you're downloading Benson AI. The second way is that you can go ahead and subscribe to the newsletter. If you don't have an iPhone or you're outside of the United States, go ahead and subscribe to the newsletter. And what you can do from there is you're going to get all of our top 10 stocks emailed to you at the start of the month, just like everyone else. And then if you're like, hey, I'm still skeptical of this big old random guy on TikTok talking about investing, go ahead and click on free stock ideas. Go to meetbenson.com. That's also where you can find the newsletter. Go to meetbenson.com and look at the button that says free stock ideas. I will quite literally send you some of our old ideas that we still think are exciting. We still think they're exciting. But we know that, for the most part, everybody on Benson bought these up 7, 8 months ago. So we will still share some free ideas that we still think are still exciting. And I'll shoot you a text, quite literally saying, hey, here are 3 stocks that you may like. We got some other ones. But yeah. Stephanie said, it is worth making the daily podcast a part of your daily routine. I know that everybody wants to learn investing, learn how to think about this. So Stephanie is bringing up a very important point, which is we release a podcast every day, Monday through Friday, directly in the app. 60, maybe 90 seconds long, so it's not too long. And our whole goal is just to say, here's what's happening in the market today. Here's what you need to know. From there, we're recognizing that people log in every single day just to listen to that daily podcast, just to figure out what's happening, what's impacting their money, how to think about it. No action. You don't need to do anything after you listen to the podcast, but we know that there are people just like Stephanie who are saying, hey, I log in every single day just to listen to it because I learned so much from it. Lovey said, hope all is well. Thank you, Miss Lovey. Did I miss anything good? You missed the whole episode, but it is on YouTube, so do not worry. Same for everyone else. If you missed this episode, you can go ahead directly to YouTube, type in Benson Report, and you are going to see all of these conversations, at least the last 8 conversations now recorded so that you can actually listen to it at any point in time. I'm hoping that the YouTube video is as clear as what I see here, but nonetheless, it is available for you. So yeah, with that said, final thing before I dip. One, of course, download Benson if you want help with this whole investing thing and you want AI to do the job for you. But with that said, I like to do one tradition, which is I like to end off these conversations. Thank you, Clifford. Clifford just wrote a review, y'all. I appreciate that, Clifford. I am going to respond as soon as I jump off. One thing that I like to do here, y'all, is at the end of the conversation, I like to say good night to every single person here in the chat. Why? Because every single person made it comfortable for someone else to ask questions. Every single person in the chat participated. We got 96,000 likes, y'all. We got 96,000 likes, and we weren't even aiming for 100,000 this time, but we got 96,000 likes off of this live chat, which is absolutely insane. There was no challenge at the end of this. People were just happy tapping the screen. 96,000 likes. If you were here, that means you contributed to it. If you were here, that means you asked a question likely that made someone else feel comfortable to also ask questions. If you're on Benson, you were here and you shared some of how your investing journey is going with Benson. All of those things contribute to the next person feeling comfortable and confident to actually speak up and say, hey, I need help. Hey, I'm interested. Hey, tell me more. X, Y, and Z. Because every single person here contributes to the conversation, it only feels right to end it off and say, hey, I want to say good night to every single person individually. So with that said, it's about to be a long little list, y'all. Let me drink a little water. Top of the list, Stephanie, good night. I hope that you are feeling better. Pam, good night. Thank you for the FaceTime call as well, or picking up the FaceTime call, because of course I always feel better when I see a smiling face over there. Parvel, thank you for sharing your numbers. It's a big deal when people here actually share how they are doing. Steeble, good night. Delisa, don't wait around too long. Get set up. But we are here. Seamer, good night. Chrissy, good night. Courtney, I will call you after I get off. Sid, good night. User 259986341, good night. Duce, good night. Jacqueline, good night. Mr. Gemini, Clifford, good night. Thank you for the review as well. Keisha, good night. Morgan, good night. Miss Culpepper, good night. Kirk Morgan, good night. Lisa Hawk, good night. Chuck S. Larry, good night. Willie Freeman, good night. Nilly, good night. Sasha L., good night. Nicolette Strives, good night. Rich Auntie, good night. New Orleans Native 8, good night. Silverback, good night. Gabriel, good night. Lovey, Good night. Sunshine, good night. Mindy, good night. Jacob, good night. DJ Nonchalant, good night. Cruiser 411, good night. Sam I am 0268, good night. Tech Test Ma, good night. User 6390218340020, good night. Han Sani Daddy, that's a hilarious name. Good night. Janu, good night. Derek, good night. Ali, good night. Iron City, good night. Nash Howard, good night. Carl Williams, good night. F, good night. Slick, good night. Judy, good night. Aviant, 3, good night. Jordan, good to see ya. Jordan, good night. John Voyage, good night. Share it or regret it. I love that. Good night. Kendi Ellis, good night. Sonia, good night. Zundo, good night. User 9888052383064. Good night. Cindy from Texas, good night. Skinny Macho, good night. Sweet Mahogany, good night. Murray Anderson, good night. DJ Tech One, good night. Slick 288. Good night. Lena, good night. Keish, good night. John Christian, good night. One Spadacio, good night. Y'all, I'm dying over here. Raj, good night. Uncle Sumbu, good night. Victor, good night. Tyrone, good night. JP76. Hold on. JP, good night. I think I got everyone. Val, good night. Noel Trace, good night. L. DeVargas, good night. I think I got everyone, y'all. With that said, 3 ways to get involved. Download the app, subscribe to the newsletter, or just go to Benson or meetbenson.com and just, get some free ideas. Just so you know that we know what we're talking about over here. But if you're looking for the best thing possible, you're absolutely downloading Benson AI. If you missed this TikTok live, it is on YouTube. As soon as I get off here, it is going to be immediately uploaded. You will be able to watch every single second of this conversation for 2 hours and 7 seconds long. So I think we are good here. Good night, everyone. I appreciate every single person that jumped on, asked questions, and participated. Peace out.